Hello and welcome to the Mama Moo Cast presenting from Chaos to Country. I am Ro Del Grazzi, and I've been talking about how we relocated, and I've kind of gone through why we relocated and then how I kind of started researching different areas. And now I think what would be definitely helpful, instead of jumping right into like how Georgia is so different from the places I've lived, I wanted to talk about the steps that we took in order to relocate, because we relocated with two kids and they were young. I mean, they're still young. It's 2 months ago we came here. 5 and 7. And part of it was we wanted to get into a town or into our home before they started hitting those kind of years at middle school where they've got their crew and they're like, I don't want to leave. I've got all my friends. So Jayla has been loving it. Jacob took a little bit to warm up to it, and not very long considering it's only been 2 months, but he just rated Georgia an 8.1 out of 10. So that moved up from a 5.99 that it was a couple weeks ago, and we're getting closer to the 10. Jayla's like 100 out of 10. She loves it. She loves seeing deer. She loves her teachers. Oh, and sorry, you guys, I just realized I'm doing laundry. I love that. I know I'm always like doing something. Maybe I should plan this better, but you're going to hear the spin cycle and then a little I love it, but also bad timing, right? Anyway, and there's no woodpeckers out, and it's supposed to rain today. Anyway, and you also might hear my husband going, babe, are you talking to somebody? Possibly. Who knows? Anyway, the steps we took. So, like I said in the former podcast, I did the PowerPoint presentation, and then I presented it, and Chris and I decided to pick 2 different areas to go visit. We went up to Washington because we have family up in Washington, and I have friends up in Washington, and that was a place that one of my sister-in-laws was thinking about relocating to. And then we were going to plan a trip to Atlanta. We couldn't really go to all the states I put on there, obviously, because, it's expensive. But I've also, one of the states on the presentation was California, so we already kind of had a sense of different areas in California. And I've been to Oregon, I've been to Arizona, I've been to Colorado, so it's not like I've never been to those states. I don't think Chris has been to all those states, but he's been around. Anyway, we decided to check out Washington. We went up there to start in June when it was supposed to be summer solstice, and they have this naked parade. Don't know if you guys have ever seen the naked parade, but it's a bunch of people body painted riding bikes naked. It is quite a scene. I'd only been to a couple of places up in Washington. I had never been to Seattle, and for us, one, it was really gray and it was supposed to be sunny. It wasn't. It was a little bit of a red flag when the sun did come out on the last day we were there, and people came out of the stores to stare at it. I was like, I don't think they get a lot of sun here. We did check out a house in Tacoma, and at one point we were upstairs in the refinished attic, and Chris couldn't physically stand in the room. He's like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. And price-wise, it wasn't anything that we were like, oh, this is definitely affordable. The definite pros were Chris's cousins being up there, and my friend Anthony and his wife Danielle are up there, so those were like definite pros. Very green. It really was beautiful, but like I said, geez, that spin cycle, that is something, huh? Wait till you hear a squirrel jump on the roof. Jesus. So I had to wait for that spin cycle's violent. Jesus. So, like I was saying, we went up to Seattle. We had a great time. but there was no diversity at all. I mean, barely any, except for, there was just naked people all over. Some body painted, some not. It was a very interesting place. Great food, interesting, yeah. Anyway, so then we went to Atlanta, and we went to Atlanta in August so Chris can actually experience humidity, because I grew up on the East Coast. I know humidity. I know seasons. I'm okay with it. Because in LA, you have 115-degree days. So I'm saying both are uncomfortable. It's just what's more uncomfortable to you. Okay? And people are like, the bugs, the this, the that. I'm like, yeah, there's bugs. But also, we have little ankle biter mosquitoes in LA. So, and we have water bugs. That's just a fancy word for cockroaches. They're there too. Okay? Anyway, we went to Atlanta. We stayed in the suburbs. We stayed actually in Buford, and then we just went around. We met Carissa. She took us to Marietta. We saw houses there. We saw a bunch of houses, but we tried to get the vibes of the neighborhood, and we loved the vibes of the neighborhood. We were standing in front of one house, and a guy just drives by and waves at us. People were opening the door. There was just like a southern hospitality thing that we loved. Also, the food, oh my God, amazing. We went to Atlanta one night to see my friend Tracy. We got to meet her at a Kroger, and then we walked to this park, big park, you guys know it. It's on the Beltline. Piedmont Park, possibly. It was a free reggae concert. Awesome. Vendors everywhere. It was great. I mean, when we left, we're like, this is where we're going to relocate. So, and to be honest, we were in Grayson now, but we didn't go to Grayson. I think we might have seen a couple houses in Snellville. My friend Nadia hates the name of that town. She's moving here, but she hates the name of Snellville. I don't blame her. Snellville is it's great. I love Snellville, but like the name, Oh, and I had a girl that used to bully me in elementary school, and her last name was Snell. Like, she was not nice to me. I wonder where she is now. Maybe she's watching this podcast. Anyway, you were rude. Okay, Elizabeth? Anyway. That being said, I can't go into the next steps because I'm running out of time. And sorry about the spin cycle on the washing machine. Next week, I'll promise no appliances will be going during my podcast. Promise you. I promise. So next week, I'll cover the steps that we took after we realized, okay, we want to go to Atlanta. Because I will say that when we went up to Seattle, we liked it, and there was a part of me that was like, okay, well, we're going to go to Atlanta in August. So we went to Seattle in June, then we didn't go to Atlanta until August. So I will say, if you're relocating, it's easy for me to say now because I'm out here, but man, that time in between where you don't know where you're going to land, it's tough, you guys. You really have to go, okay, we are going to get guided to where we're going to go. You have to know that this is a process. It's an impatient process because you just want to get there already, but there's so many steps to it. And the first step is actually being, you know what, I'm ready to relocate. That's actually a big step. That was huge for me to say. I never thought I would have left LA. So that's big. So then there's steps in between, and there's an impatience to it. You're like, I just want to get there. You will. You will. It just takes a little bit. So, yeah, so next week I'll talk about the next steps. Once we're like, okay, we like Atlanta, what's next? I'll go into that next week. But if you have any questions, please email me, The Real Mama Moody, MAMMAMOODY, TheRealMamaMoody@gmail. I can send you PowerPoint presentations, steps that we took, our spreadsheet, all of it. Just hit me up. Okay. Or subscribe to my YouTube. Hit me up on TikTok, IG, Ro Della Grazie. Okay. Bye.